Hi, it's Bonnie with Just for the Food of It, and today I want to make some tomato soup with my homegrown tomatoes and my onions. So come along with me, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our tomatoes in half, and we're going to coat them in olive oil with our garlic and roast them for about 45 minutes. Alright, so I have some older ones here, and I'm going to get those cut and cut out the center of them there. We roast them to get the skins off and get them softer for our tomato soup. I'm cutting off all the blemishes and the bad parts and some of the bruises. We need about 3 pounds of tomatoes. I have all my tomatoes cut, and I have about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic here, and we're going to put some olive oil on it and some kosher salt, probably about a tablespoonful. We're going to mix this all together, and then we're going to pour it onto our baking sheet. The oven needs to be at 425. I'm going to make sure we get this all coated. What I like to do is turn them the cut side down. I have some orange tomatoes or yellow tomatoes here as well. I like to put the garlic in the center. I don't know if it's my OCD or if it's better that way, but that's kind of how I do it. So there's our tomatoes, and we will roast these for 45 minutes. While the tomatoes are roasting, we're going to go ahead and cut up our onion and get that sauteed in a sauce pot for about 10 minutes with some olive oil and some red pepper flakes. In the sauce pot, we are going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and our onions. Then we'll saute those, and probably 3 or 4 minutes before it's done, we'll put some red pepper flakes in there. And we're going to put this on medium, and we're going to saute that medium to medium low. We're going to saute these until they get translucent. This is where I add 2 teaspoons of butter and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, or you can add more. It's up to you. Tomatoes are out of the oven and they need to cool before we can puree them. Okay, the tomatoes are out, and now I'm going to take the skins off of them, and then we're going to puree them. All right, so we're going to take the tomato skins off, and you make sure that your tomatoes are cool. It's got lots of tomato juice and olive oil there. Literally, you're picking them off. They just kind of slide off for the most part. And then we will puree them, and the onions and the garlic, and we're going to have basil and thyme as well. And then we'll add our vegetable broth. Right. Okay. So now I'm getting ready to cut some basil and some thyme. And the original recipe called for about 1 cup of basil. That's a lot of basil. I mean, I love basil, but I want it to taste like tomatoes, not just basil. So I have a little plant here. So I've got about a handful. If I cut it up, it'd probably be a fourth of a cup. And I've got probably a teaspoon of thyme here. So I'm going to cut these up real quick. If you layer them like Pringles, you know, they stack together like that. And we're going to kind of roll them up and cut them like a little cigar. Okay. You're going to cut thin little strips, and then we'll dice them. Well, you know what? You don't really need to dice them because the blender will do all that. But I want to cut them up a little bit, so we'll stick those in there. You can see what I'm doing here. And some of the thyme. These are from my garden as well. You actually can use the stems if you wanted to. There's just as much flavor in them as well, and especially if you're pureeing, that would just be fine. I'm going to kind of loosely chop it there. Stick that in there. Okay. We have that. Now let me get some onions and put in here. So we got onions from our pot. And stick those in there. And you just want all that goodness. And we're going to put the tomato soup back in here when we add our broth. All right, so now I'm going to add some more of there's juice. I put some tomatoes in here and some juice in here from the pan. And we're going to puree this. Good, I'm getting ready to do this, and then we'll add some more tomato as it gets pureed. I'm actually going to pour some of this out of here, so I've got room to put the rest of this in here. I'm going to put the rest of the tomatoes in, and all that goodness. And we'll finish this up, and then we'll add our vegetable broth. All right, now I'm going to add the vegetable broth in the pot. All right, so I have some of my tomato sauce in here. I'm going to add the rest of it. Don't want to splash it. Just so I know I'm getting as much of this out as I can, I'm going to pour the broth in here and then pour it into there. And this is vegetable broth. That way we're kind of rinsing. And this is 32 ounces, and I'll probably do another one. Mix this up, and we're going to turn this on to medium-low. We're going to taste it first and see where we are. Just going to let this heat up a few minutes. Looks real pretty orange, doesn't it? I want to taste it and see if we need any more seasonings or some more pepper flakes. I'll go ahead and try it. I think it's really, really good. My husband's going to want a little bit more flakes, so we're going to go ahead and add that in there. Taste that basil, taste that tomato. All right, I added about 10 more ounces of vegetable broth, and it's heated up, so I'm going to give it a try. All right, I have my tomato soup. And I have some Parmesan cheese. Serve this with some French toasted bread. Garlic bread would be wonderful. Put as much cheese in there as you want. I love cheese. So we're going to stir that around and give it a taste. Oh, I can smell the basil. It smells so good. I love basil. It's one of my favorite herbs. All right, guys, let's test this. Ah, you guys, this is so good. It's the end of my tomatoes, and this is the perfect way to honor them. You guys got to give this a try. I will put the recipe in the comments. Thanks for watching, you guys, and just keep cooking, okay? Just for the food of it. Bye.